Welcome to Freeze Your Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezeyourmilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freeze Your Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy. Welcome back, everybody. This week, we were supposed to do the episode about us as a couple, but Chris had to travel to help out with some of the hurricane relief in Florida, so we have a surprise guest. I'm so excited that this week we are having Rose, which we've talked about in previous episodes. She was our postpartum doula when we had Rhett, and she is going to be our birth doula and postpartum doula for this baby. So welcome!
Thank you, Bridget. I'm honored to be here, and I'm so excited to meet your third baby boy and walk alongside you in this beautiful, wild, sacred journey.
If you can't tell already, part of what we love about Rose and why she's a great doula is she has the calmest voice ever. Cree and I used to sit there and be like, how? Can we just have an ounce of her chill? It's so chill. It's amazing. Where do you think because when you're with babies, Rhett was a very tough, colicky. We brought you in when he was 2 months old, I think?
Yes.
And it was brutal. But you maintain this calmness the entire time. Where do you think that comes from? Or what allows you to stay so calm and even keeled? And
I would definitely say my mother. She is the sweetest, calmest person, and she has 11 babies. I have no idea how she stayed sane through us all. She is definitely a very sweet human being, and that's where I get it.
Yeah. What made you decide to want to become a doula, postpartum doula and birth doula and all of that?
When my sister, who is right above me, and my younger sister...
In the 11 children?
Yes, so the 11th child and the 9th child... my two sisters were pregnant at the same time, and I just wanted to learn as much as possible to help them through their journey so they were able to love it. And I had the opportunity to attend both of their births and be with them for a month postpartum, and it was just really amazing to watch them become parents and families and these whole new beings. I absolutely loved seeing them grow and change.
That's awesome. For those of our listeners that don't necessarily know, what does a postpartum doula do versus what a birth doula does? How would you describe them if someone was I don't know what that is? What does it mean?
Definitely. I feel like I often have to describe this because a lot of people don't know that this is an option. So as a postpartum doula, I'm there to support the new parents. I provide emotional support, and I help them feel confident in what they're doing. I also provide tips and tools on the healing process and everything newborn care. Like you said, there are some colicky babies in the world, and a lot of parents, even if it's their second or third child, need those reminders on how to cope and how to help baby through that time. So I'm there to take care of the parents and make sure that they're hydrated and nourished. I do a lot of meal prepping. I I also just make sure that they're getting enough rest. So sometimes I get to hang out with the baby. I also do sibling support. I love hanging out with the older siblings. I'm really just there to make sure they have a smooth adjustment into parenthood.
I definitely can say, and we talked about it Chris and I talked about it in Rhett's birth episode and like the postpartum phase, that because we didn't know what a postpartum doula was either. I didn't use any of that with Enzo, and Enzo was like a super easy baby, like the angel baby, super easy. And Rhett was the opposite of just insane colicky, insane like uncomfortableness. Later we found out he had a dairy sensitivity, that he's really sensitive to dairy, and so once we got that cut out and kind of got his gut reset, everything got a lot better. But I just remember, and you probably remember this too, like we had 2 chairs in Rhett's nursery, and I would just be stuck in there for hours with him. Like I had to hold him, and if I tried to put him down, he would freak out, and holding him, he would be somewhat calm, but then if I like moved at all or somebody else tried to hold him, and so I just, in the new postpartum phase, I was stuck sitting in his nursery with him in the dark for hours. And Chris and I always talk about the fact that we really feel that you coming at the time that you did was what kept me from dipping into postpartum depression and kept me, I definitely was having postpartum blues, but it kept me from hitting that threshold of going into postpartum depression. Because when you first came in the beginning, you're like, what do you need? Do you want me to hold the baby? Do you want me to do this? And I was like, if you just want to sit here and talk to me so I'm not alone, that would be amazing. And I would love it. And Chris would come in as much as he could, and he was always bringing me like food to like have while I sat in there. But even in the beginning, when Rhett would not let you hold him or anything, just having you come and just sit in that space with me and just, someone to talk with, for an hour or 2 hours, and help me feel like, I wasn't alone in that moment. Because again, Chris was absolutely there too, but he was also working. But also to feel like there are some babies that are just tough and it's okay,
Absolutely. I definitely remember multiple wonderful long conversations, and I feel like many families feel alone in parenthood, and I mean, I believe every family deserves to know that they're loved, and they deserve to be taken care of and listened to. And you were stuck in that room for a long time, so I also love being able to do the things that that you would normally do, whether it's just the dishes or the laundry or anything.
The delicious date snack. Oh my gosh, I still have dreams about it.
Well, we'll definitely be making more of those.
Do you want to explain to the audience like what it is? It's so good.
Oh yeah, there's these delicious stuffed dates, and honestly, there's lots of different ways to do them, but you can cut the dates in half and take the pit out and put this wonderful, delicious mixture into it. And this recipe of stuffed dates is out of our Ayurvedic cookbook. And for those who don't know what Ayurveda is, it's a 5,000-year-old life science, and it's all about aligning the mind, body, and soul with the foods and the herbs and how you take care of your body. And this stuffed date recipe is sweet and delicious and healthy. So I love making it for my families, and I'm really glad that you liked it.
I like thinking about it. I'm like, I need those again in my life. I think you originally were like, yeah, you're supposed to have like 3 or 4 at a time. And Chris and I ate the entire like container in one sitting. I was like, I probably ate more than I was supposed to, but they're so good.
You're allowed to have as many as you want. I feel like so many guidelines and silly things that humans and parents feel like they have to follow. However, I'm all about doing what feels right for you. So if you want to eat the whole container, that is okay.
What do you feel like are some of your like tips and tricks that you consistently give parents or like help them have aha moments with?
That is a great question. Honestly, every family is so different and every baby is really different, but I often just remind parents to to breathe and remind them that that their babies are just communicating through their cries. I'm a big believer in the 5 S's. So for those families that don't know what the 5 S's are, it's ways to kind of soothe your crying baby. Do you know what they are, Bridget?
It's like swaddle,
Yep.
shush,
Yes.
suck like a pacifier or something.
Correct.
I don't remember the other ones.
Sway is the next one, and then side holding. And when I say side holding, I mean you're holding your baby belly to belly, or their back can be to your belly, and you can sway as you hold them on their side, and it's just really soothing. These 5 S's mimic the womb, and I think that's one of the hardest things for parents is just adjusting to communicating with their baby. So I feel like those are really helpful in reducing that frantic
Going
feeling.
crazy as a parent.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like brand new, spanking fresh, newborn, their cries aren't distinct enough yet to like decipher that's a hungry cry, that's a tired cry, that's an uncomfortable cry. But I feel like somewhere between like 4 weeks to like 6 or 7 weeks, they start to develop this distinct cry for different things. Mm-hmm. And that turning point makes it a lot easier. But those first 4 weeks, you're just like, oh my God, I'm not sleeping. I don't understand what you want. I've run through the checklist. I have checked your diaper. I've made sure you're not hungry. I've made sure you're not too hot or too cold. You know, why are you still crying? What do I do? Like, even as, you know, a parent third time around, like, I still know that that's a tough time. The first 4 weeks are a tough time.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like all babies go through so many different things, and some of them, you know, like your sweet little Rhett had some stomach issues and gas and all those things, and I feel like you literally did everything in the book. You did everything outside of the book. You got multiple opinions, and you just kept, you know, fighting and trying to figure out what was going on with him. And I just adore you for that. I feel like there's just so many different things, but I remember, you know, you doing all those bicycle exercises, and you
That's
know,
right, I forgot about that.
I love you massage on his belly, and you know, you were just so
Remember we had to like hold him
patient.
in the squat position?
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that too. That's funny. It's funny your mind like blocks stuff out. It's like, wait, that was a very stressful time of our life. We're just gonna forget it so you have more babies.
Our mind is just like that. It
Right?
just forgets and blocks out so you can continue to procreate.
Oh, what do you think is like, what's one of the more challenging aspects of being a postpartum doula? Like, what are parts of your job that are kind of hard?
You know, I think that sometimes when parents, mothers and fathers, experience perinatal or postnatal mood and anxiety disorders. And I have tons of, resources and referrals in the community, but sometimes you can connect everybody together. You can connect new parents with a therapist and a masseuse and a chiropractor and all these different things. And sometimes, it's just a really longer struggle. It's a long struggle, and I guess that would probably be the hardest part, is my personality just wanting to, make everything good and better. And
if I could heal you right this second, I would.
Exactly. If I had all the magical powers, I would just make everybody just feel good. So I think that's probably the hardest part for me, is just wanting to see everybody thrive and knowing that I've done everything I can. And I just keep trying to do everything I can to help out.
Do you have, I know we feel this way. Do you feel like every family you work with is like, oh my God, we love you. Can we adopt you? Can we build an extension on the house? You're amazing. Your energy is so great.
Yes, I feel like that's another really hard thing, is that I get to work with so many wonderful families, and it's just for, a short time period, and then life gets super busy, and I miss all these families, and they miss me, and that is definitely another challenge. And I want to keep all of you, especially you guys.
I definitely remember he was like, I wonder if we could move her and her fiance in with us. And they could just be our new family. He was like, can we just get rid of our family and they can be our new family? I was like, yeah, I'm sure that they would agree to that. It'd be great. He was like, can we look for a house that has a separate casita for them? I was like, no, we can't. But we could. If we could, we would. But it just speaks to how much you helped us during that time when it was so tough. Chris looks back on it now even, and he's like, with this baby, he's A, hopeful that this baby won't be as colicky. But B, he didn't really, because he wasn't there when Enzo was a newborn, he didn't come until Enzo was 2. He hasn't been around a newborn that was really tough before. And so he had a really hard time bonding and connecting with Rhett, because he felt like, my kid hates me, my kid doesn't know who I am, my kid doesn't want anything to do with me, every time I hold him he screams, he's super uncomfortable with me, my kid's just not connected to me. And he really, really struggled in those first couple of months. And as the months went on, their bond got better, and now they're, thick as thieves. Mm-hmm. But him and I have talked about it, and he thinks that now that he's aware, it's not that the kid hates you. He was just uncomfortable. He's hoping that it's a different experience this time around. And with it being, our last baby that we're having, he's really hoping to just cherish it a little bit more and realize even if this baby is super colicky or super cranky, to know that it's just a phase and it's a season and it's over super quick. When you're in it, it's very long days. But we talk about it all the time. You turn around and we look at Rhett and we're like, when did you grow up? You're 18 months old already, and you're not a little snuggly baby anymore, or a little screaming, crying, angry baby anymore. You're so grown. It's just crazy. But I wonder, do other fathers tend to sometimes feel that way too, like, oh, my baby doesn't like me, or they're not connected to me, or, they cry when I hold them, or...
Absolutely. It's really common for fathers to feel that way, partners. It's definitely normal. I feel like one of the best ways for moms, dads, partners to bond is through skin to skin. I feel like I know an hour sounds like quite a bit for a dad, but spending skin to skin time is one of the best ways to bond. I love, when families have, song time, or they read together, or, they spend some time outside getting some vitamin D. I feel like, moms and dads both sometimes struggle to bond, and that's okay. I want people to know that it doesn't happen instantly for every family, and that's okay. So just working towards spending more time together, at least like an hour or two a day. I know that sounds like a lot for some people, but I feel like that's a good goal to shoot for. What do you think Cree what do you think helped Cree?
I think honestly he started to see that I was really stressed, and I was struggling with having to be like the primary caretaker all the time of Rhett those first couple of months, because Rhett really, he was super uncomfortable. He didn't really want anyone but me. He was hit and miss on a bottle. And eventually, Cree was just like, I'm just going to take him for car drives. Like, put him in the car seat and we're just going to drive around, and he'll probably fall asleep eventually. But he's like, I got to give Bridget a break. Like, I got to give her some time away from baby for 30 minutes, an hour, something. And I think as Rhett got kind of he went through phases where he hated his car seat. And then he went through phases where he would only nap in his car seat. He wouldn't nap anywhere else. But I think as Rhett got more comfortable with going for car rides, and Cree got more comfortable with I might not be able to soothe him by holding him at the house, but I know if I put him in the truck and go for a drive, he's like my little drive buddy, and he's going to calm down, and he'll go to sleep, and he'll take a good nap, and mom can rest or lay out in the sun or whatever she needs, just to have a few minutes of the screaming baby not being in the house. Yeah. And I think that actually helped him to start to bond with Rhett, because I think it helped him realize hey, I can do this too. I can provide for my kid, and I can care for him, and I can be nurturing, and I can help accomplish the ultimate prize of I got him to go to sleep. Yay.
Absolutely. It's a challenge, and for some babies more than others, but that's awesome that he found something the car ride to help. And I feel like it is so nice when dads are able to take baby out, even if it's just on a short walk around the block. It definitely takes a lot off the mom, and it will greatly benefit everyone in the household.
Yep. It's interesting. We recommend, honestly, postpartum doulas to everybody we come across. We're absolutely, it is like a family member, but better. Because you don't have the awkwardness of family members and them. It's just better. We love it.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. I am all about having a huge, as big of a support system as possible. So I know that going into third baby, you're going to have me, your postpartum doula, birth and postpartum doula, as well as your nanny. Mm-hmm. And then little bit of family support. A little bit.
You and the nanny. You'll be great. Oh my gosh. Freaking mother-in-law. Did I tell you she asked randomly the other day if she could attend the birth?
Oh, no.
Curry and I were like, no. No, we're not close like that. Like, no. It was so awkward.
That is interesting.
She was like, do you think I could be there when the baby's born, like in the room? No. We're not like that. We're not close like that. And your energy is not what we want in the space, in our birth space.
Well, I'm glad that you said no.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it's important to be able to say no in those situations. And it's so interesting that people think that is helpful. I mean,
let's talk about like birth space for a minute. So you've done, some birth as a postpartum doula, or as a birth doula.
Yes.
And I remember when we asked you were like, but there's other people with way more births under their belt. We're like, and we had a great birth doula from the same company that you work with Rhett's Birth. And she was really nice. And we had 45 minutes with her. Whereas we had weeks of postpartum care with you. And we in our mind, it was like a no-brainer. Like, we absolutely would love to have you on our birthdays because you know us. And you know Cree, you know me, you know how to guide us and direct us and how we are as people. Like, Cree's sarcastic, and funny, and we have a pretty calm household. We're not high strung or any of that. Like, you know us really well from being in the postpartum space with us. And so when you were like, well, don't you want to use the one you used last time? Like, she has way more births under her belt than I do. And we're like, she doesn't really know us at all. Like, she knows us a tiny bit, but not at the level that you do. So why don't you tell us for a minute, like, why is a birth space and who you invite into that space so important? No matter how many people you choose to invite, if you want a huge crowd or a small crowd, like, why is that so important?
I think it's really important to have people that you're comfortable with in that birth space, because it's such a magical and wild journey that you're going to want your rock, your partner there, and also you're going to want somebody that can guide both of you and know how to direct your thoughts and how to encourage you without being too
overbearing.
Much. Overbearing, exactly. I feel like I've had the opportunity to attend my sister's births, and because I know them so well, and I know Bridget and Cree, it's going to feel really comfortable. And I feel like that's one of the most important things in birth and labor, is that you can breathe and you can just support their emotions through it all. I feel like partners also need that support, and it will just be great because I know how to support you guys, because I've had the opportunity to do it before.
I think it's really, like, the birth space that we like is, again, like, our house, our everyday life is very calm.
It is.
Like, some people joke, like, our house is, like, so quiet, like a mausoleum. Like, it's very calm, it's very quiet, it's very low key. It's not chaos, and it's also not, like, stuffy, like you feel like you're gonna break something if you touch anything. It's very relaxed, and comfortable. And I feel like we like that for our birth space as well. We don't want a bunch of fuss. We don't want, Rhett's birth was super, super fast. And I don't think this one will be as fast. But we put together like a 7-hour playlist of music, and it was not spa sounds. It was, everything from Pearl Jam to country music to, Marilyn Manson to just music that we know and that we can use to like get myself out of my own head, because music is very good at being able to like put people into like similar to like a trance-like state, or a state of relaxation that's at like a different level, especially if it's music that people know really well and like their body has heard a lot, and so they respond to it. But it was funny, so at Rhett's birth we got there and, Cree was like, hey, do you want me to put the music on? I was like, no, not yet. Maybe in a little bit. And then I had Rhett like 25 minutes later, and I was like, oh, well, made a great playlist for nothing. Didn't even turn it on or listen to it. But, I see all these beautiful birth spaces that they have like twinkle lights and all these affirmations and aromatherapy and music and like just beautiful. And I'm like, it's a lot of work to do all that. I don't know. Like, I would love it, but I don't know if I would. I don't think it would make or break the difference on my birth. I know that I don't love a ton of people that aren't calming energy. I like very much calm energy in my birth space. I don't love like a ton of people fussing over me all at once, like, oh, let me do a washcloth and let me, rub your hair and let me like massage your shoulder. Like, I just want to be in my head and in the zone and chill, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
But I feel like you see that already just in who Cree and I are. Like, we're very like, we just want to chill. Don't need a lot of fussing. Don't need a lot of all of the extra stuff. Like, just chill.
You're both really easygoing humans, and I love that about you. And honestly, I feel like no matter what kind of birth space you have, because of who you are, it's going to be that wonderful, empowering experience that you deserve.
Have you talked to, so our birth doula was Megan last time. Have you talked to her at all about our birth experience?
I need to reach out. I've actually been, going to...
Well, you've been super busy working.
Yes.
I think the thing that she'll probably say, because she's told it to us a lot, is she was like, you were so quiet, Bridget. Like, there was no noise out of you. You were just silent. Like, are you having a contraction? Are you pushing? Like, what's happening? You're just quiet. There's just, your face had almost nothing going on. Like, you were just calm and quiet, and there was no warrior cry. There was no straining. And I think it's so funny because Megan has told it to us a few times, that she was like, it was just so shocking at how calm and quiet you were for somebody in labor. She was like, you don't see that every day.
No, definitely not at the births I've attended. I've actually had my partner practice yelling really loud and, just getting a little bit more desensitized. Exactly. Yeah, just because, honestly, growing
Sometimes
up,
you have to warrior cry your baby out. Like,
exactly, yeah. And it's good. It's okay to make as many wild noises as you want. I feel like so many families roar their babies out, and that is wonderful.
Yes.
I think that, growing up, anytime I heard a loud voice, I was just like, whoa, we better see what's going on. And so I feel like it's been really good to hear all these wonderful yells, like the yells that you want to hear in life. Those are really awesome. good yells.
I was so intrigued to see like how this birth goes, because I could be yelling on this one. Like, I have no idea. Like, every birth they say is so different, and I've only had 2, and they were like extreme opposites for sure. But I'm intrigued to see what it'll be like this time, around. Will it be more of a quiet environment? Will it be fast? Will it be slower? Will we just intrigued by the whole thing?
Well, I'm really excited to see how it goes, and I know no matter what that your body was built to birth, and you have been preparing, and you're going to continue to, or you're actually going to do some practicing on your birth ball here soon. I feel like you're setting yourself up for a successful and empowering experience, and I believe that that's what you will have.
I'm excited this time. So we have, last time we had the birth doula. She was also a photographer. And this time we have a separate photographer. And I'm like kind of excited about that. But I want to make sure like somebody in the room knows like it can't be too dark or the photos will be junk. So, I'm like, we just got to make sure we have like either a light on somewhere or like some blinds opened so there's some natural light. Because it's something I didn't think about, in the moment with Rhett's birth, that it was very dark. Like all the blinds were drawn. I don't even know if there's really any lights on at all in there when I birthed. And so they had to use flash. And so it was like a lot harsher lighting because of the flash photography. I still love the photos. I did not at first. I definitely looked at them and was like, oh, I hate these. I look terrible. I'm not the woman with the fake eyelashes and the beautiful hair and looks like so peaceful, like out of a magazine shoot, who just birthed the baby out. Like I went through war and I don't look great and I'm puffy and swollen and, like you see some photos and they're stunning, and those were not mine. But after about a month of having the photos, I looked at them again and I was like, wow, these are beautiful. Like it took a while for me to appreciate them and for me to appreciate my body and what I did. And the photos, of Cree supporting me are like my favorite ones out of the pictures of him being there and pushing on my hips and pushing on my back and, helping me up out of, because I birthed Rhett in a tub, helping me out of the tub. And there's a picture of him like feeding me some oatmeal, after birth and while I'm holding the baby. Like those are my favorite ones, is him being amazingly supportive.
I love that. That is absolutely my favorite, when I see partners supporting their loved one. And honestly, we're so self-critical. I'm glad that you were able to look at them again and appreciate the real raw motherhood that you went through and that your body is capable of. And I just think that all the pictures that I've seen of you and your birth have been so beautiful, and I'm glad that you took a second look.
All right. I was like, okay, I do like him, never mind.
Yeah.
What do you feel like, so you don't have children yet. You hope to have children one day?
Yes.
What do you feel like are things, because of different births you've witnessed and different postpartum phases that you witnessed, what are things that you feel like you want for yourself when you have children one day?
Well, I definitely would love to have a home birth. I think that's where I feel most comfortable and safe, and those feelings are really important during labor and birth. I'm hopeful that my significant other will be able to take time, a long time, I should say, off from work. Hopefully a month. It'd be nice if it was 3. I know that's pushing it.
I think we got like a week.
Yeah. I know, here in America, there's generally one week for partners to be at home with their loved one, and it's just not long enough.
No.
So I'm hopeful that we'll get at least a month as a family all at home, and in that time I just specifically want to be at home, and I'm hopeful that I get, one of each, but if not, I'm gonna go for that third baby.
See what happens. I still remember, I think I showed you the video. Cree was like visibly disappointed. Oh, another boy.
Yes.
Now he's excited because he's seen some toddler girls, and he's like, oh, that's a lot. Yeah, we're having boys. Cool. I understand boys. I know boys. Good to go. I don't have to worry about doing their hair, bows, any of that.
Yeah, my partner Lucas said that if we get 2 girls, we can definitely try for a third and get a boy. But if we get 2 boys, he's good.
Did you say, well, what happens if that third is also a girl?
Yes.
And then he has 3 girls?
Yeah, he didn't like that thought.
No.
But I know I'm the type of person that is going to need a big support system in my birth and in my postpartum. I know that even on my long days, it's hard to clean the house and cook and to do all the things that we're supposed to do. So I plan to make sure I have that support system set up ahead of time so I can enjoy that experience a little bit more.
I would say, so we have a tiny bit of family in state, but we're not super, super close to them. And then the family that we're more close with live on the other side of the country. And something that I think has helped us, that I always recommend to other people, is a lot of times people will ask, like, okay, well, I'm not there. Like, how can I be supportive? What can I do aside from just sending baby stuff? And for us, having people Instacart groceries or, say, where would you like dinner from tonight? I'll have it delivered to your house. Those were huge.
Definitely.
Like, it seems like such a simple little thing, but just to have people that, or even if they don't know what to get, just like, I'm gonna, get you an Instacart gift card or Uber Eats gift card or, DoorDash gift card or something, so that you can just order a meal and not worry about it, or you can order groceries and not worry about it, and not have to go to a store and try to go grocery shopping and be exhausted and covered in baby poop and spit up and snot and breast milk and all of it.
Absolutely. I recommend all my families making a list of their favorite healthier foods, like 5 to 10 meals, favorite restaurants that you like, just so you can give your family and friends an idea of what they can get you. Food is one of the best ways to help a new family.
I 110% agree. Well, thanks so much for being a guest today.
Absolutely. It was a wonderful surprise.
I was so excited that we were able to pick your brain a little bit and hopefully encourage our listeners, if they are expecting children of their own, to look into doula care, because it's amazing.
And you all deserve it.
And yes, you absolutely deserve it. And it's different than having your family help you. It is. Like, it's just different in its own way. Not necessarily better or worse, but it's just different, and I think everybody should have a chance to experience it.
So thank you so much, Bridget. I loved talking with you, and hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.